South Jersey, how are you today? Well, it's Monday, the start of another school and work week, a little bit different than last Monday when we were seeing temperatures in the upper 40s and 50s. Today, we've remained cold and brisk thanks to this stubborn low all the way up in the Gulf of Maine, and that is bringing in the stiff northwest wind that is making it feel like it's in the 30s for most of us, and also keeping the cloud cover around and sparking some lake effect snow showers in western PA. None of that will impact our area. So I think today we will be seeing the last day of the extreme cold. Temperatures will moderate over the next 7 days, but not before we see the development of a coastal storm. I've been talking about it all week. It will affect us Tuesday into Wednesday, and in it I think we will see a mix of rain, snow, and a period of heavy wet snow to end. I'll have a full breakdown in just a couple seconds, and it will be, of all things, a huge shore impact, especially in areas that have already been compromised by Hurricane Sandy all that time ago. It seems just like yesterday, but we are still dealing with the effects and the ramifications. All right, so today 39 to 41 along the shore. It's going to be mostly sunny and brisk. We will see some clouds getting back into the picture later this afternoon, again because that stubborn low well up to our northeast. It just won't budge. For tonight, 30 to 32, remaining clear, windy and cold northwest winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Yeah, we have temperatures in the low 30s, but it's going to feel like the upper teens and low 20s all night. Tomorrow, 44 to 42. I think we start out clear, and then the clouds will arrive later in the afternoon, and we will see some rain showers develop late in the day, probably around 11, 12 o'clock into Wednesday early morning. The winds, as the storm system approaches, will shift from the northwest to the east at 10 to 15 miles an hour, occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. So you're going to want to hold your hats out there tomorrow. So here's our setup. Here's the storm. Here's the low coming out over the Ohio Valley. It will dip down to the south and then eject itself off of the Virginia, North Carolina coastline. And that looks like that will be the exact track. Most of the models have brought it down to the south. Only one, the GFS, which is the American model, that's the outlier. That brings it a little bit further north. So again, we start the day mostly clear, and then the clouds will gradually build in as the storm approaches from the west through the day. All right, so let's break it down for you just a little bit. It's going to be a very long-lasting storm. Like I said, we will start seeing clouds roll in late in the day on Tuesday. We won't see any sort of clearing until Thursday afternoon. For your precipitation, again, we start with some rain and then a mix of rain and maybe some ice during the day on Wednesday. We do have those higher surface temperature issues to deal with, but I think the majority of this event will be a wind-swept rain. Now, as the storm builds up in intensity and heads east, colder air will work into it, and we will see a brief changeover to some heavy, wet snow late Wednesday night. Accumulation-wise, not expecting much, just light accumulations here in South Jersey. Definitely more south and west towards the I-95 corridor, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore. The biggest issue is going to be the strong east-northeast winds, sustained at 25 to 30 miles an hour, occasionally gusting upwards of 55, possibly 60 miles an hour. Why? We have the low and we have a high. That is the blocking mechanism. Those two combined, really high winds, so watch out along the coast. And speaking of the coast, I think that is going to be the major problem with this one. I think from Long Branch all the way down the coast to Cape May, we will see some beach erosion, and minor to moderate tidal flooding is a definite possibility, especially with a high tide on Thursday morning. So areas that have been battered by Sandy are going to see the unfortunate consequences of another coastal low-pressure system. For the majority of South Jersey, a mix. I think it stays all snow west of I-95, and then again, as the storm moves out, we will see that transition to snow late in the day. Accumulation-wise, again, nothing major in South Jersey unless that storm can shift to the north, which I'm not really sure about that one. I think it will stay to the south. Most of the snow is going to stay to our southwest with a 6+ inch range through Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and parts of southern Delaware and Maryland. Your 5-day forecast: after we get the storm out of here Thursday, we might see some clearing for a sunset. 39 degrees on your Thursday. And then look at this, Friday and Saturday, 46. We start to trend towards normal. And then Saturday looks like 51 degrees and mostly sunny. Thanks for logging on the Village Weather Online. I'm NorEasterNick. Have a great day, everyone.